In the next few videos, we're going to talk about using Tkinter. So Tkinter is a module that comes with Python that allows you to create programs actually more the way you would expect them to look. So stuff inside of Windows, buttons, graphics, etc., instead of trying to run a program through the terminal or some other method. So as I mentioned a moment ago, Tkinter comes with Python. So if you have Python installed, you have Tkinter already set up, and you can use it. Because Tkinter is part of Python, it's also cross-platform. If you're looking at different modules that you can install yourself that might have been written for one machine or the other, what you create might not be cross-platform. But since Tkinter is part of Python and it's written in Python, it was designed to be cross-platform. While Tkinter itself is written in Python, if you really want to dig into it, it does eventually get into C, but that's okay. You don't have to know C to be able to use Tkinter because the only aspects that we deal with is Python. So I'm in PyCharm. It doesn't matter what environment you're in for editing the code. None of this is specific for it. This is just the software I'm choosing to use. So I'm going to create new projects, and I'm just going to call it try TK. I'm using Python 3. You can use Python 2 if you want, but there might be some differences here and there. So I recommend using 3, since that's what I'm going to be using. So I'll create a new Python file. We'll start with a hello world. As always, working with comments. Our first TK program in Python 3. Even though Tkinter comes with Python, it is still a module. It's just one that you already have. Now that being said, that does mean you need to import it. Let's do from Tkinter and import star. Import star. Alright, so this will import all of Tkinter and allow us to use any of it rather easily. Granted, you could use instead import Tkinter, but if you're choosing to do it this way, you will end up having to write more in the long run because you have to send out calls for specific aspects like a button or some of the other things that we can get into later. So we'll go with from Tkinter import. This is also what you'll normally see if you're doing some other research on Tkinter, so just to keep things consistent with more likely what you're going to see, we'll go with that. This is specifically for Python 3, like I said. In Python 3, Tkinter is lowercase. If you're using Python 2, it is capital. So just be aware of that. So if you're using Python 2, capitalize that. Just for a really simple program, we're going to basically just have a little window that pops up and it's going to say hello world, and that's it. So the way that we do that is with a TK function. Now we don't just want to just randomly have a TK function. We want to assign this to a variable. So I'm just going to call it my window equals TK. Now you could call this whatever you want. You'll see a lot of tutorials out there that use roots, but I'm going to use my window just because I think it's a little bit clearer as you're learning. So then we'll put in a label. So this is going to be my window, and we're going to label it with some text, and that text is going to be hello world, right? And then we're going to tell it to pack. And lastly, we'll do my window dot main loop, and that should work. Why is that? Oh, this should be capital. Alright, there we go. TK, there we go, that looks good. So no underline, thank you PyCharm. And if we run this, there we go. Way up here, hey, move. There we go. Way up here we have this little window now that says hello world, and we can make it bigger or smaller. We can see the default name of my window is TK, and we can see the hello world in there. And yeah, there you go. So hello world. Really simple, really easy. This should work on a PC as well, but your window is going to look a little different because this is based on the operating system that I'm running in, so yours should look more like the Windows operating system if you're programming this in Windows.